Okay, I think we can get started. Wendy, you're going to scan some badges?
I'm going to scan some badges.
Okay. Welcome everyone. We have, I think, 8 people online and a room full here. My name is Ben Buchwald. We didn't realize until about 5 minutes ago that we were also doing an online session. So we're just trying to get oriented with the tech for that, but I think we're all set up. So sorry for the delay on that. So my name is Ben Buchwald. I'm founder at Ellii, and I'm just going to give you just a 2-minute background on us, who we are, and then I'm going to hand it over to Wendy for the majority of this presentation. Ellii is a content platform for language teachers. We've been around for about 23 years. I wonder if I should stand closer to the, am I on the screen there? I don't know if I'm on, okay. Okay, I don't know if you can see me or not at home. But yeah, we're a content library for English teachers, and we've been around for about 23 years now. I started the business when I was living and teaching English in Japan. Does this mic work? Is this one on too? I can't tell. Yeah? So my mom was an ESL teacher. She taught English in the 70s, 80s, and 90s to new immigrants and refugees coming to Canada, to adults. My sister was a French teacher, and then I ended up becoming an ESL teacher. Right after I graduated from university, I decided I was going to go teach a year, go travel for a year in Europe. And just before I left, the night before I left, my mom gave me this book called Teach Your Way Around the World. I don't know if anybody's heard of that book, but it was a book I think written in the 70s, and it was all about how you could travel the world and teach. And I ended up, from that book, noticing that you could do a Cambridge CELTA certificate in the UK, and when I was there traveling, I ended up doing that, and then ended up going to Japan for about 5 years, and ended up teaching English there. And one of the things that I enjoyed most about teaching English while I was there was writing the materials in the evenings. So I think that those teachers that take the time to develop their own materials and to plan and to plan their curriculum and to sort of map out the roadmap for their students end up being better teachers if you take that time to plan and prepare. So that process of writing materials in the evening was something that I really, really enjoyed. And by the end of my presentation, end of my years there in Japan, in my last year while I was there, I ended up taking the content that I had created while I was there and making this little platform at the time called ESL Library. We changed the name to Ellii a couple of years ago. We started with about 40 lessons, and over the last 23 years, Ellii has grown into one of the largest content libraries for English teachers around the world. It's grown into having more than 2,000 lessons, thousands of flashcards, hundreds of videos. It's used in K-12 schools, adult ed schools, colleges and universities, private language schools, and it's really become sort of this place where teachers can find ready-made complementary material. So a lot of teachers use the platform to complement their own curriculum. And we've tried to design it in a way where you can find timely, relevant, engaging materials in a matter of a couple of clicks. So you're not spending hours and hours looking for material. You can come to Ellii, and whether you're looking for grammar or dialogues or pair work activities, discussion activities, you're going to be able to find that material in a matter of a couple of clicks, and you're going to be able to set your levels to whatever the level standard is that you're using. If you're based in Canada, you might set it to the Canadian Language Benchmark System. If you're teaching adult ed in the US, you might set it to the NRS levels. So it's a really easy way to navigate and find timely, relevant, engaging content. And we've also spent a lot of time in the development of this material creating pair and group interactions, things that get students up, walking around the class, speaking to other people. A lot of our lessons, whether it is one of our discussion lessons or whether it's one of our grammar-based lessons, there's always going to be some sort of paired interaction where students have to communicate with somebody else in the classroom in order to really practice the language that they've been using. So over time, Ellii has grown into this really big library of complementary material. But we noticed a few years ago, we started to notice that often when we would be meeting with schools, they would ask us how Ellii aligns to ventures. And we discovered that many people that were using Ellii were also using ventures. And we didn't quite know how Ellii aligned to ventures at the time, but we slowly came to realize that so many schools were using both. They would use ventures as their core flagship North Star textbook. And then to complement it, they would use Ellii for additional materials, to take a break from the textbook and to have some extra activities in the classroom. And over time, we've built this relationship with Cambridge and grew to know them. And they're wonderful people who have built an incredible product in ventures. And at some point, we realized there's a great opportunity here to form a partnership where we align a lot of the content on Ellii and curate it to make it easy to find material that complements the ventures units. And so that's what we've done recently. We built this area on Ellii called Ellii Ventures. And on that section of the site, you can find ready-made study packs and collections of materials and easily assign them to your students, but find them based on the level that you're teaching and the unit that you're teaching. So in this presentation, we're going to show you how that works, show you what we've been working on, tell you a little bit about the partnership. And we've brought in Wendy Klatt here, who is both a ventures user and for many, many years, and an Ellii user for many, many years. And she's recently joined our team at Ellii, so we're really happy to have her. One of the things that one of the reasons why Ellii has been successful over the years with our own content development is we've hired a lot of teachers to write the content that we develop. And now we're even more lucky right now to have also teachers who are doing the teacher training. And so Wendy is here to sort of present this presentation and to show how she's used ventures and Ellii together and really sort of explain how this partnership works. So I'm going to hand this over to Wendy right now. I almost called you Ellii as people.
God, everyone calls me Ellii. They're like, Ellii, it's so great to meet you. Okay. Hello. Hi. I think I need it for the Zoomers. Okay. For everybody on Zoom, hello, I'm Wendy. Let's see if I can remember who I am. Yes, okay. Oh my gosh, we are awake, right? I even had my decaf. So I'm Wendy. I am a teacher by trade. I've been teaching for about 28 years. I'm now with Ellii, super excited. You can see my background, you guys can read. I have the credentials, but one of them I'm actually really proud of. Here at COABE, I am a certified entrepreneurship teacher, and I still teach that class at night. I taught it last night, so that's why I might be just a little bit tired. But I'm not, I'm sharp. And so, but I still teach at night for District 113 in Highland Park, Illinois. That's an adult ed program, community-based, we have about 500 students now. And we're growing. And I hear that from a lot of you, that you're growing. Your programs are growing. So, and I've taught in a bunch of different settings, but adult ed is my favorite place to be. I'm sure that I see some heads nodding. It's your favorite place to be too, right? It's kind of an addiction. We can't leave it, right? Okay, so I would like you, I know we're small, but we are mighty. I would love it if you could turn around and just kind of introduce yourself. If maybe you're a little further, you could just talk loudly. And in Zoom, if you would please put in the chat, where you're from, what you're teaching, maybe what your position is. I'm gonna give you like 3 minutes. I'll put my timer on, all right? Just talk to each other. I think I can do it here. I think I can just. Okay. Well, I see someone in the chat from South Carolina, Rock Hill. Nice to have you here. The chat box is missing, you are correct. So going in the Q&A was very smart. I love your troubleshooting. Okay, we've got Laura from, is that Massachusetts? Love having you here, and Sue. Thank you, guys. Keep putting stuff in the Q&A if you need to, and I can check that. All right, my friends. Okay. I know if you give the teacher the time to talk, they'll never stop. So I'm here to stop you. As a teacher as well, I know what happens. But okay, this is great. So how many people here isn't it fun to talk to each other in person? Yes, and this is nice. How many people here are using ventures? Yeah. How many people here love ventures? I mean, share the, yes, it is a great. And how many people here use Ellii? How many people here love Ellii? Okay, isn't this awesome? Right? We're going to find out just how awesome this is. Let's hope my pointer works. Oh no. That's okay, I can troubleshoot.
I'll go to the next slide for you.
Thank you. It was just working, you saw that. Oh.
Is that where you want to be?
Yeah, that's the next slide, right? Yeah. Unless you jumped ahead to and he's trying to, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, okay, so okay, I'm gonna ask you, I know a lot about ventures. What is something you love about ventures?
Well, I love the structure, how it flows from the skill of listening to reading to speaking to grammar in the middle to summarizing at the end. So I just love the structure that it has because it keeps the students engaged more than anything else.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, with 5 authors, how could it not be structured, right? Oh, it's so rock solid. And who else? You wanted to share the love back here. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Our Zoomers need to hear you. Okay.
I like how it scaffolds. I feel like it starts with vocab. It starts with that beautiful picture, and how can we build on that picture and get on the same page about this topic or this theme, and then it just kind of scaffolds and builds from there. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. This core text built with this perfectly thought out, pedagogically sound method of the listening, the speaking, the scaffolding, listening, speaking, reading, writing, and then the scaffolding, which we know our learners really need, especially the ones who have interrupted formal education. Anyone else want to share some love? Yes?
So I use the website itself in the classroom. And they love it. They love the games. They like the way it kind of teases you or whatnot, but they learn. So the games are really, really fun. And they learn. They learn as we're doing all that.
Thank you. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna pass the mic. So we know that, come on in. Yeah. So we know that ventures, I'll talk about why I chose ventures for my program in just a little bit. I don't want to, spoiler alert. But I'd like Ben, he just talked about Ellii already. I think we can go, the next slide. But I'd like to tell you just a little bit what I like as a teacher about Ellii is that when with having ventures, this core curriculum is great. And then my program also had Ellii. I liked that Ellii had current topics that I could talk about with my students, and then they had different things that I could talk about with my students that maybe weren't in the textbook, because we know in teaching, variety is the spice of life, right? We cannot do the same thing all the time, every single time. Even though, Ventures has it all, sometimes we do need to supplement with other materials just to capture different learners, right? So I always loved Ellii, and then, the graphics are clean and simple and adorable. So that's one of the reasons I liked Ellii. Ben, is there something else you wanted to share about Ellii?
Well, no, just touching on the
Yeah.
timely and relevant content. I mean, one of the things that we can do at Ellii is put material out very quickly. So if something's happened in the news yesterday and it was big, big news, we might have a lesson on it today. And that gives opportunity for you to take a break from the textbook from time to time and just talk about something that's going on. So we have a partnership with the Associated Press where we create new lessons every week based on their content. We have a section called discussion starters where we're creating content based on current events, things that your students are probably just talking about already in their daily life, debating, discussing, having conversations with their family and friends about already, things that are just going on in life around us that are happening in real time. And that's what Ellii has sort of become known for. In addition to having sort of a big library of the fundamentals, all the grammar and dialogues and things like that, the discussion-based content and the current events and the news, these are really what give Ellii an edge over a lot of other complementary materials and make it so that it's always timely and relevant.
Yeah, piggybacking on what he just said, talking about timely, current, and relevant, I teach online at night, and all my students were asking me, they're in Illinois, by the way, the students I'm teaching online, and I live in San Diego. But they thought, San Diego was right next to where the fires were in LA. And so they were asking me a lot, and Ellii had content up about the LA fires, like almost the next day. So that is a really nice, because it was something that was on their mind and they wanted to talk about, and I was able to, jump away from something and have a resource for me that was already, available. So that was really nice. Next slide, please. All right, so, whatever, I'm a teacher, you're a teacher, we know we need objectives, so here they are. I really want to drive home, I'm really excited to be here because I am so excited about this collaboration. It's something I've been doing, personally in my teaching career, that now that it's official, it's like super awesome. I can't believe that I'm here right now with all of you. This is really great. And I just want to talk to you about how powerful it is for us as educators, and if you're a director, how powerful it will be for your teachers. Next, and it's super easy peasy, mac and cheesy. You're just clicking. They have done, we at Ellii have done, I'm talking about they, the engineers. I didn't design it, but they've done such a great job of curating content and making it so easy for our teachers to just to click, and then and being aligned to each unit. And then I'm going to show you 2 examples of how I was using this in my classroom. With how I was using the Ellii website to complement the Ventures core textbook. So that's, it's always nice to see live in action stuff. Like, how does this work, right? All right. I really would, though, like to hear, because I know what problems I had trying to find supplemental materials. We had a prescription, we had a subscription to Ellii in my program. But if, you wanted, some programs aren't that fortunate. And so teachers are kind of always trying to go around and find other materials. And I just would like to take a few minutes, turn and talk. You can talk to somebody different this time, or just think about it and reflect on what are the challenges we face as educators with supplementing materials. All right, that's your challenge right now. I'm going to give you 3 minutes.
Wendy, I'll try to do the chat on here, but I don't know where you get to the chat.
The Q&A, the chat.
How do you get to the Q&A here?
I think that's what's screwed up my picture. 3 minutes, okay. Sorry. here. See where it's Q&A?
Okay,
Okay.
I can try to answer those.
Yeah.
Or you want to answer?
Yeah, no. I'm just seeing if there are any new ones. Are you helping?
Oh, you are?
Oh my gosh, we cannot get the chat going on here. Oh. Mike, should we leave an OTAN expert? Oh my gosh. Oh, Lisa, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Look what I've done now. Where are the arrows on the computer here? How do you go back?
I was doing this one.
It won't go back.
Because you got to click on it now. Just click on the screen somewhere. And now,
Oh God,
sorry, were you on?
I'm
Yeah.
not a PC person.
Me neither.
Thank you. I hear my timer. Okay, if you give a teacher a talk time, wasn't there that story? If you give a mouse a cookie or something? Okay, thank you. All right. What were some of the issues that you come up with supplementing? Anyone?
Well, we talked about several issues. One was time and where to go, and then the matching it to the material that you have, the ability level, and making sure that if you're teaching adults, that it's adult material.
And that's it for the presentation. I'm so happy you all joined. I joined, is it Hector today? He pretty much summed it right up. But yeah, did you all hear him okay? All right, anybody else would like to add to that? Is there anything? Yeah.
So a lot of times we come across the centers where we are, there's no, Wi-Fi, there's no, we have to have all kinds of equipment to be able to make them see whatnot, because you're in a little center, little, church or whatnot. But when you get into the college, now that's even better. They really enjoy that. And then you come across different issues as far as their education. They might have a third grade education, high school, so, those are some of the issues that I've seen, and Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi's.
Hey, listen, we were having Wi-Fi this morning, Zoom. Yeah, it's technology. We have to be flexible. That's a great point, because our learners are okay, we don't teach one level, right? Can we all agree that in your class, it's not level 1? It's like within level 1, there are like a million micro levels, right? So that's another reason. Does anybody else have another issue?
My name is Cassandra Cassie. We were talking about even, let's say I have different cultural backgrounds in my classes. There's times where even the student they're at a low literacy level in their own native tongue. So even if I were to try to use Google Translate, they couldn't read it, right? Or it's not available in audio to read back to them. That's another issue.
That's a huge issue, is the literacy level in their native language. It's actually what I've seen in the program where I taught level 1. Okay, next slide. I really wish my pointer worked. Love my pointer. Okay, so yeah, so we know what happens when this strong, proven curriculum meets this flexible, engaging content. Ta-da, next slide. Yeah, it's this amazing combination. Like, I can't even contain how excited I am about this, really. And so you can see here, we have Ellii plus Ventures, and we'll have a QR code to this if you want to learn more about, Ellii plus Ventures.
Sorry.
That's okay. But this is what it looks like, how beautiful, and we're going to go into the website in a second, but you can go to the next one. Yeah, and it's just, again, we're adults, and I feel like I need something repeated to me at least double-digit number of times to remember at this point. You cannot tell me something once. So I'm just going to keep telling you the same thing so you walk out with like this blurb in your head. She told me, massive library, okay, engaging content. Okay, well loved. All right, so this is why we're together, right? It's just such a powerful combination for our teachers. And I think it's the best one out there, in my personal teaching opinion. It's like coffee and donuts. Okay, because, I did not have my donut this morning, although I did have my coffee, but it does make me very hungry. But it's a perfect combination. They go together perfectly. As Ben said before, they had been hearing at Ellii about these programs that used Ventures as a core, and then they also had Ellii. I was one of those. I think we can go to the next. And then again, remember, I have to repeat this to you guys. So this is you could just, you could put them all up there, so I don't have to tell you to click it every time. I should probably just move over. But you have the structure, and then you have the flexibility. Like if our learners have interrupted formal education, or if something happens in the news and they've got questions, but they don't have the words to talk about it, like the LA fires. Let's talk about persistence in adult ed. And I'm not just talking about persistence like they're showing up in your classroom so you're getting the funding. I'm talking about persistence in life, and persistence where they're walking out of your classroom and they're eager to learn. And you can do that, you can give them homework, or you can give them, I think there's one more little boy, thank you. Okay, so, you can give them homework, and that's engaging and that will persist. But the end game here is persistence in life. That's why we're in adult ed. And I fall in love with this profession more and more every day. You think I'd be sick of it by now, but I'm not. And I'm a talker, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But, the saving the time. And it just, being able to have this supplemental material for, teachers that they don't have to look around for, they can go in. It complements the core, and they don't have to think about, okay, is it like WIOA, is it ELPS, is it NRI? All those acronyms are swimming, they're swimming in your brain, and you already know it's aligned. You don't have to think about it. And then engagement, right? Because, really, you don't want your classroom to look like this, with me talking and all you staring at me like, oh my gosh, who's texting me, right? No, you want your classroom to be more engaging, like when we do the turn and talk. And we want those, as Ben was saying in the beginning, we want them to be, we want our students to talk to each other with the target language. We want it to be collaborative. We want it to be communicative. We want to have pairs. We want to have groups. We want them to be using it in our safe space. Where they can make mistakes, and we can give that immediate formative feedback So then when they go out and they're persisting in real life, they're equipped, right? Okay, all right. What you've all been waiting for. It's this synergistic effect of Ventures and Ellii. And now we're gonna pop into the site, hoping we don't have any technical difficulties. And if we do, it's all right. We can get over it. And we're gonna go on the site and we're gonna show you what these study packs look like and how easy they are to use.
So we have to do some kind of thing, right?
I'm gonna do the
Okay.
thing. Okay, here we go. I got it.
Wendy and I don't think, I haven't used a PC since ever. I've only ever had a Mac since the 80s.
Yeah, me too.
And anytime we do these presentations, if they give us a PC, we don't know what we're doing.
I did it.
But you did it. Okay, great. So, and now am I just on? Like I'm on the site and you're logged in? You're logged in? Yeah, okay. Okay, so it sounds like most people here have used Ellii, so you're familiar with it. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the platform itself, but just at a high level, it's this place where you can find stuff really easily in a matter of a couple of clicks. You can use the search tool up at the top to just search for something in particular, a topic, a grammar structure, a dialogue title of some kind. Or you can go into our materials section and you can find things like, see, I don't even know how to click it. Okay, like lessons, flashcards, videos, and resources. But you'll notice there's this new thing down here called Cambridge. And I think it's actually supposed to say /ventures, and I'm not sure, that hasn't been updated yet. But this is a new thing, and it's only sort of in a beta mode right now, so only we can see this, not everybody else can see this. So we've got this turned on to our own accounts. So I would be able to go into this Cambridge area here, and yeah. And I can find these sort of ready-made study packs. But before I dive too deep into that, I actually meant to show you something first to give you the context of how we built these study packs. So in Ellii, there are lessons, and the lessons are categorized by category, like discussion starters and mini debates. Those are categories. Grammar practice worksheets, grammar stories, those are categories, and those are grouped into genres like grammar or adult literacy. Those are genres. Life skills is a genre, and then a category would be everyday dialogues or real world readings. That's that one that you have trouble saying, right? Real world readings. Yeah. Other genres are reading and discovery, things like famous people, famous places, famous things. Here's That's News to Me, a section where we've got all those Associated Press lessons. By the way, with our partnership with Associated Press, we have the rights to their news articles, and we can write lessons around their news articles and their videos and their audio clips every week. And we've also obtained the rights to be able to rewrite the articles at a lower level as long as it maintains the facts of the article. And so we have this other section called Easy News Stories, where we sort of précis those articles and rewrite them at a lower level for lower level readers. In any event, one of the things that happened at Ellii over the years is we just added more and more and more and more content, and it actually ended up having, in some ways, a negative effect, because you were spending more time looking for the material than actually using it. It was this Netflix problem where you spend more time looking for a show or a movie than actually watching it, and you realize half an hour's gone by and you could have just watched a show. And so the same thing has sort of happened with Ellii, where over the years that we've added more and more material, it's become more time consuming for a teacher to just find what to do next, right? So this is our discussion sections where we have all those really timely current events and things like that, so things on the environment or education, business, community, crime and punishment, some serious topics, some light topics, money, food, health, all these different types of topics. But it was up to you to kind of find all this stuff. We just put a new one out recently called Doom Scrolling. You're not going to find that in a textbook, but it's something we can all relate to in some way. This came out last week, right? I think, or a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got a lesson on that. But in any event, you've got to go and look for it all. And so we found that over the years of adding more and more material, we wanted to find a way to curate that content easier. So we created these things called courses and study packs, firstly, last year. And we took the material and we grouped them into like 4, 5, or 6 lessons in a study pack, or we made a complete course, like a grammar course, where we took a bunch of our grammar lessons and packaged them all together by level. So these are courses, like a grammar groundwork course, or I can click to pack here, and then I can go to something like life skills, for example, in packs. And we've got things like banking basics or money matters. And now instead of like going to one section in everyday dialogues and another section in simple sentences category, you can find these lessons all sort of curated together: banking, trip to the bank, money at the bank, how to read a check, how to write a check. And in one click, you can add all of those lessons to your students' class, where they can find those assignments and do them sort of sequentially. It just makes it so there's less curation. And we realized that sort of less curation by the teachers. And so we realized that sort of method of packing things together might work really well with ventures, where we could take content from Ellii and curate it into these types of study packs, but align them to a level and a unit. So that if you're teaching level 3, unit 7, you can just find any and all material that relates to level 3, unit 7, I think is what I said. I'm forgetting which example I just said. But that was the idea behind it. So Tara Benwell, who's our head of publishing here at Ellii and largely responsible for creating most of the content at the site, along with her team, spent the last several months tagging our content to align to the topics, the grammar structures, the levels, the themes of the ventures units. And what the end result ended up being was this area here called Cambridge Ventures, right on Ellii. And you can go in here and you can see these are the books. So there's Ventures Basics, or Basic, Ventures Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, Level 4, and Transitions. All the books are there. If you click into any of these books, I need to know which my example is going to be. So let's go ahead and look at, let's say, Ventures Level 4. So let's say you're teaching Ventures Level 4 to a particular class. The first thing you're going to see is what we call collections. Now, collections are not study packs. Collections are like a whole bunch of material. And these collections have both study packs and additional material as well. So I'm in Ventures Level 4 right now. I can read a little bit about the book here. Down the side, I can see all the units. So there are Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, etc. And in the middle here, you can see a quick link to all of those study packs. So just like I was showing you a study pack before about banking basics, here are the study packs about Ventures 4, Unit 2, or Ventures 4, Unit 4, etc. Now, I can also just click to that right over here, where not only will I get the Ventures study pack, that's this right here, but I'm also going to see a whole bunch of other material that is close to that unit, but maybe a little bit adjacent. So the study pack is curated material that's as closely aligned as we can be. And the collection itself, the rest of the stuff in here, is stuff that is maybe a little bit off of, or a little bit close to what that study pack is, but maybe not completely aligned. So you're going to get a whole bunch of material there that you can use to back up the chapter or unit that you're on. So I'm inside of Unit 4. And you'll see down the side as well that you can also sort of sub-filter to other things like 4 skills. So this is Unit 4 with 4 skills stuff: grammar, modals of advice, past modals, perfect modals, vocabulary-based lessons. We just have one there that relates to Unit 4, pronunciation, collaborative worksheets. Oh, I need to come back to that in a second. I didn't mean to jump to that yet. That was a surprise. But in any event, we're just study packs. So I can click into one of these study packs here, and there it is. There's 4, we did 4 lessons in this particular case that all relate to this unit that you're on, Ventures 4, Unit 4. And let's take a look at this. So this one, I think, related to, what was the theme of this one? I'm forgetting. Was it health? Health, yeah. So it was that unit was related to health, and so the first lesson here is on stress, and then I think that the grammar structure must have revolved around modals of advice and past modals. So we've got an extra worksheet or lesson around that. So I can click into, for example, this lesson on stress. And you'll see that once we come in here, we've got two ways of accessing this, both print and digital. Most of our content, for those of you who use Ellii, will know that it comes in print and digital. There are a couple of sections that are only digital. There are a couple of sections that are only print, but most of them have both print and digital. We're still big fans of putting pen to paper. I think it's really important in the learning process, and particularly in the language learning process. So we continue to make PDFs, even though we also make a lot of digital content now as well. So a teacher could come here, they're going to see a little bit about this, the focus, the vocabulary, the correlations, and they can open up this PDF. And there's a lesson that might go well. Sorry, slow Wi-Fi.
That's okay. While the slow Wi-Fi is going, I would just love it. Speaking of putting pen to paper, I would love to get your response. This is coming up in a little bit, but be thinking of like one word of your first reaction to seeing how easy this is to go into these study packs. And then I'm going to make you write it on those little cards on the table, because I'm going analog.
So I should pause.
Right?
Should I be pausing now?
Yeah.
Are we switching activities?
No, but I think we might be short on time.
Oh, we are? Oh, sorry. I thought we had so much time. Sorry. Okay.
Trying to move us.
Okay. Well, in any event, you get the idea here that you've got this ready-made study lesson here, and then there's also digital activities here. While you're writing that down, I'll just quickly show that there are digital and interactive activities as well around that. This is a matching activity for vocabulary. There's reading activities. So I won't go too deep into the lesson itself, but you get the idea that within a matter of a few clicks, you can find the content, and then you can also assign this content as a whole study pack to your class by just clicking this Add to Class button. If we look at one more, can we just look at one more lower level?
Okay, real fast.
Yeah?
Real fast.
Okay, so for a lower level, just to give you an idea here, if we go into Ventures Level 2,
Oh, yeah,
yep.
that's a great one.
And this one also, we'll take a look here at like Unit 4, for example. Sorry?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, and then there's the study pack, and this one was also about health. And this particular lesson here, there's a whole bunch of flashcards and vocabulary activities, but I can just go into that Ventures Level 4 study pack. And you'll see this one's more of a lower level lesson, but it deals with like illness and injury as a flashcard set, medical tools and treatment that you can access as a picture dictionary or print out as flashcards or use as games, health label warnings, this lesson on what happened. And so we'll take a quick look, and then I'm going to hand it back to you, Wendy. I know
Awesome.
we're short on time.
I don't know. You never know how it just goes like that. It goes so quickly.
But just to give you some contrast in sort of the level of that first one versus this one.
Jonathan Grossman raised his hand.
Okay, I don't know how to answer.
know.
Jonathan, how do we?
That's okay.
Maybe he can put his question in the chat, and
yeah.
there was somebody here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonathan, please put your question in the Whova app, and we will get back to you shortly.
You can see that even on this one, it's a paired activity. I was talking earlier about paired interaction. So in this particular one, it's an information gap, and I don't know what happened to Bill here. It's blank here. So I would ask my partner, hey, what happened to Bill? And then you would look at your answer here, and you'd say, well, Bill broke his shoulder. So I'd have to write in here, broke his shoulder. So paired activity is a big thing, even when it's print-based and not just digital. So anyways, I'll hand it over to you. I can clearly see that I've overused my time here.
No, it's okay. But I'm like the teacher who always has a timer. It's an issue for me. I'm always like, okay, hold on. Bear with me. Wait, oh yeah, I did it. Look at this. Oh my gosh. But then am I going to be able to? Hold on. I'm just amazing myself by the minute. Okay, so we have this one more chair, and I'm going to go around, and I'm just going to take a look. Will you hold your cards up so your friends can see?
Did we have to answer Jonathan's question, though? Did it come through?
I will get there.
Okay.
I would like to share this. Simplicity, simplified, scaffolded. We'll say them quickly. Cool. All right. We need a picture. We need a picture of that. Okay. Oh, are you still writing? Comprehensive. Amazing. We need a picture of that. Who's anyone taking pictures? Amazing. We've got two amazings. You can say something if you want. Back here. Oh, you drew a cloud around it. Brilliant. Awesome. Cool. How about over here? Oh, he wrote 3 too, don't worry. Okay, he underlined one, already aligned and accessible. Okay, look how great this is. I love that. Great minds think alike, right? Right, the study packs make it easy breezy, mac and cheesy for us to just go in and click. We can go into the study pack, it's aligned. Like, I mean, Hector really took my presentation away from me in the beginning, but yeah, it's there and it's aligned and it's on all the themes that we're using. We're just gonna walk around like this. Come to the booth. I'm just gonna stand here like this. All right. Did we find, Jonathan, did we get his, oh, Jonathan, I am so sorry. If you email me, wendy@ellii.com, and ask me that question, I'm happy to answer it for you. Wendy@ellii.com, super simple. Let's see if I can pop back in here and see if okay, we know that different learners have different needs. Do you wanna, okay, thanks. Right, and again, you know, I have to say this over and over because I forget. So I'm just helping you remember to help me remember. When we have a variety of materials, we can help different learners who have different needs. And we've already addressed those. So I'm gonna go on to the next slide. Okay, oh, it's covering the word time, but you can figure that out. The big thing for me, okay, so now like Teacher Wendy is on the loose here, okay? Like, so I'm talking about this from the perspective of when I was, well, I still am a teacher there at night, but when I was at District 113's program, I'm gonna talk to you about how I used it and like how awesome this is and how much time it saved, and I'm kind of annoyed that it's happening now and it didn't save me time 3 years ago, and I'm gonna show you what happened. All right, so, and I'm gonna give you an example of what I actually used in my classroom for when I was teaching low beginners in person, and then when I was teaching advanced learners online. So I had those two different examples. Great, so we know, I mean, ventures, you know, the consistency for our learners is so crucial. To be consistent, not only in every unit, but it's like in every book, it's consistent. So it already has reduced that cognitive load for our learners, right? So we can get that curriculum through to them in this wonderfully planned out unit. So, you know, you always do your like, you know, the big picture, you access the prior knowledge, you all know this, but I'm just saying it again because I like to. And then, you know, I go through the grammar with my students, then the next thing I do, we do some reading, and then lastly, we do some writing, right? So I know they have had their foundation. You know, it's solid. And then I'm like, let's go a little bit deeper. Let's see if this transfers. Let's see if they can do this, not yet out in the wild outside in my classroom, but let's see if they can do it inside my classroom, but looking at it a different way. So then I go to Ellii because remember my program had a subscription. Don't you always just want to say prescription? I'm like, I always mess those up. Subscription. But I go to find, I type in, here's in the search, you know, jobs. I'm going to be a physical pointer now. And I get 692 results. Okay, that's a lot of results. And so you've got to go through that. Okay, is this aligned? What level is this? And so will you go to the next one? So I think it's almost 4 years ago. I can't remember time. I'm just living in the present moment. But so I think it was either 3 or 4 years ago, I'm the ESL content specialist for my program. She sent me to Portland, Oregon to TESOL, and she said, we need a new textbook. I want a textbook. I want you to rewrite our curriculum. So I went to Portland, Oregon, and I fell in love with ventures. The QR codes, I'm like, you had me at the QR codes. I mean, it was great, and I knew that's what my program needed. So I implemented that as our core text for our program. And I made this curriculum for our teachers, and you can see there's this personal, like these themes, and then I say what unit for ventures, and you can see that those are hyperlinked, right? So, I created all this, right, sitting home on a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, whatever, every night. And so click again. Yeah, there's the unit, and then click again. There's the hyperlink, and then, so then that hyperlink would take the teacher, and I moved our curriculum from paper to online, so everybody could have access to it. And so you see that where it says supplemental resources? I linked every unit to all of these activities in Ellii. I did this manually, okay? This took me forever. I mean, this took me the entire summer. This was my project. I was like, click, 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 click. Okay, Tara's just like, oh, we already tagged all that. It took 2 seconds. No, I'm like, this took me like for such a long, and I did it to save my teachers time. Because I was like, you know what, no one else is gonna do this. No one else loves this program like I do. I'm gonna do this for you. So I did it, but I'm telling you, that was a labor of love. And now, you click, you can see, you see how I have everything? And then I had then I gave them the links to the ventures, the collaborative, the multi-level, whatever, and the projects. But now, go ahead and click. Now, you guys don't have that pain. I honestly cannot believe that this is all happening right now. I'm like, maybe, I'm like, this is kind of weird because I had spent such a long time doing this. It's like, this is perfect, but where were you when I needed you? Okay, so I did find the job ads, and how I used it, I used stations in my classroom. How many people have used stations? Right? Okay. Well, it's just, oh wait, you can go to the next one. Look, aren't they great? Look at my students. So you can see with Ellii, everything, is always, the design is, is always reducing that visual cognitive load for our learners, which is really nice as well for students with limited or, formal education. But you can see, so I just set up the stations, and I have them working collaboratively because I can do cross-ability grouping. So then the student becomes the teacher, and then they're learning from their peers, and they're building relationships. Like, it's so much more than just language, right? But Ellii allowed me to do this. It gave me yet one more resource to be able to do this in my classroom. And I made it active and engaging because we were in person, right? And so I printed out the PDFs, and I used them, and it gave them practice doing like, multiple choice. Some of my students hadn't done multiple choice before. And then, and how to, group them, in your teacher mind, you're like, all right, you need to go, but you make it seem random. Okay, all right, so then here's the class I was teaching online, advanced learners. Of course, like this beautiful scope and sequence, we have level 3, click. Unit 1, the example I'm gonna show you is personal information, click. It was on personality traits, which is really fun. It's a really fun one to teach. And then click, describing and discussing personality types. Well, then of course, back in the day, I didn't have the study pack. I'm looking for it, but look what shows up. In Ellii, personality, you can't even make this stuff up. It's so great. So we have the personality types. It's from the category of discussion starters. So perfect for my advanced learners. Wouldn't use those with my low levels, right? But I would use it with my advanced. Next. I don't know why I did that twice. That's weird. Okay. We know Ben talked about that stuff. You can, it's aligned to the ELP standards. It tells you what vocabulary. And yeah, you can keep going, the discussions, right. And the discussion starters, we've already discussed, when we were doing Unit 1, and we'd gone through ventures, and then we're taking it even further. And online, I like using the discussion starters a lot because you can get trapped, kind of like me right now, I'm trapping you, talking all the time, but you can get trapped in like teacher talk. And so I can use more discussions, I can put them in breakout rooms, or we can have a whole group discussion depending on how many students you have in your online squares. And you're formulating thoughts, and it's that confidence. We're always wanting them to speak more, to be more confident. And then next, this was great. Yeah, we watched a little video, and then, the discussion questions are there for me already, so I don't have to think, because that's kind of nice, to give my brain a rest. And you can see how happy my students are. These are my real life students. They loved talking. So, You get them through you get them through the unit, and then you push them a little bit further. And again, with the foundation, and then with this complementary, relevant material. I think it had the Myers-Briggs in it, actually, for the Ellii one. And then you push them and they persist. And actually, this woman right here ended up getting a new job after the class. So she felt very confident in her interviewing. So I think that's it. I do want to leave time for questions. So next slide is, I just want you to take about 30 seconds and think, what is your biggest takeaway from learning that these awesome resources have combined forces and have given us as adult educators, I think, in my personal opinion, the most rock-solid resources you will need to have successful learners in adult ed. I can say that 100%. With beyond that, and that's teacher Wendy talking. So think like unpaid Wendy. But yeah, so I mean, I have full confidence that this will make your teachers and your program your teachers will be super happy. They will love you because they just have one click. They don't have to spend the whole summer on a couch, like going through a website and aligning it. They just have now one place to go to look, and it's aligned. So just think, take 30 seconds, think about your biggest takeaway, and then, your friend, just turn to your friend again and let them know what your biggest takeaway is. Okay. And then I'll leave time for questions. Oh, it worked again. Oh my gosh. It's like temperamental.
Oh, really?
Thank you.
Okay. Do we know how to get back onto the chat here to answer any questions? So if you're on the chat, and we can't answer your questions because we're having some sort of technical problem, as Wendy said, you can email Wendy with any questions that you have. It's Wendy, Wendy, at Ellii, and that's Ellii, so ELLII.com. Wendy at Ellii.com. If I can figure out how to type into here, I'll put that in as well. Yeah, I did.
All right, my friends, takeaways? Sorry. Yes.
The variety of the actual program.
Okay. The variety. Variety is the spice of life. That's another thing you're going to walk away with. Did you guys want to?
I'm at the age where I think work smarter, not harder. And I also have this motto that we're stronger together. And to meld these two powerhouses together is just like brilliant. Like it's going to change my whole, not change my life, but it's definitely going to revolutionize how I teach my incoming teachers. I think I need a t-shirt. I'm your #1 fan.
You have earned yourself a t-shirt. Anyone from here who wants a t-shirt, you come by the booth. Yes, please. Oh, there go my crickets. Hold on. That was really beautifully said, by the way. Thank you. I wish I'd come up with that. Okay. Anyone else take away? Going once? Going twice? Yeah. It is an amazing combination, and again, I'm going to repeat this again, it is the best one out there for your programs. I know it is, just from using it. I mean, I had success with my students. I know we got to talk about MSGs. I mean, my students always made them. So, and this is the formula I used. So anyway, enough about me and my program and Ellii and Ventures. I would love to hear any questions that you had. Yes, let me get.
Sorry, and how do I see the questions on here? Does anybody know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you look at the chat, it'll tell you
We
what
don't,
they
we
say.
can't see the chat, but.
Oh, you can't see the chat? So I have a two-part question.
Okay.
When does it go live? And how much does it cost?
Oh, we have a QR code where you can learn more. Yeah, let's put that. Okay, hold on one moment, please. There.
Yeah, this will just take you to a page where you can put your information in to default to, if you're interested in hearing from the Sorry. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry.
So I think this might be a question for Cambridge, who's at the back here and joining, in terms of when we're going to actually start making it available. Is it late spring, early summer at the latest?
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm from Cambridge. I'm the sales director. So we put in this session obviously way in advance of being able to actually have a product, and so now we're building it. So we are hoping to be able to sell it very soon, and we're working on a very affordable price point. So because one of the reasons we wanted to collaborate is that we are a mission-driven organization, nonprofit, and the Ellii team with their students' needs.
Okay.
The idea is it will be a teacher subscription. You can have as many students as you have, or a cost per year, and we're just getting the sequence now.
Yeah, fill this out and we'll follow up with you, or we'll have Cambridge follow up. You know what? Wendy rushed me. I would just like to say it. And,
Someone talked too much.
but
That's okay.
But that got me to forget to show that there was one other thing in there, which is such an amazing part of those study packs, is that we also now have the Cambridge PDF. What is it? Collaborative worksheets, so that you can access them from Ellii now instead of accessing them from another portal. So it just makes it more convenient. Anyways, we don't have to bring it up, but I just wanted to throw that in case that question ends up coming up.
So they'll be here.
Yeah, they're right there. Click that collaborative.
Yeah, in the units. So if I go into unit 6, and here we have them. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, these PCs.
Yeah.
How did this thing go away? Okay. All right. So here, are they gone?
Yeah, I think they're live now. I think they're. No, sorry, they're going live.
No, they're
I'll
live.
figure out. Okay, yeah.
Okay, this is also great because you remember on the curriculum I created, I had to link.
You need the
there?
mic.
Everything one-stop shopping. So this is awesome. Thank you, Ben. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No problem. Okay, were there other questions though?
So with the student login to this platform,
Yes.
what would they be able to do?
So,
Would they be able to do the work?
yeah, so the question for those of you who are on Zoom and didn't hear it because I didn't get the microphone to you, the question was, what can the students do? So Ellii has both printable and digital content. Students are free and included with the accounts. So you can add student accounts to your own account, give them a login and a password. And then you can assign the digital activities to your students. You can either print and photocopy, or you can assign the digital activities. If you assign the digitals, there's usually a reading, a multiple choice, a matching exercise, true, false, and sometimes open-ended questions as well. Okay, were there any other questions? No? Okay, so if you want to fill out this form, somebody from Cambridge will follow up with you at some point. That's it. Come by the booth to get a t-shirt if you would like. And I'm really happy that everybody had the chance to come out. And thank you so much, Wendy, for a great presentation. And
So any ventures questions, Cambridge, any Ellii questions, Ellii, hopefully we can get you to the right place.
And we're sorry for the tech issues for those at home on Zoom. We were having trouble to communicate with you, but we hope you were able to watch most of that presentation.
start practicing with it in venture. So hopefully she'll send it. I'm gonna send an email and also.
Wonderful. Just a reminder that